Hey there, boys, girls, and flying squirrels. My name's Joe Keyport, and you're listening to the Ear Coffee Podcast. We're back after a week off with another interview from the vault. This one is with husband and wife duo Syvers from Minneapolis. In November of last year, I had the opportunity to host a concert with Ear Coffee friend and sort of contributor David Kelso. Syvers was headlining that show, and we had the opportunity to ask the band a few questions before they played their last song. For those of you not aware of Syvers, they have this sound that is really complex and something that you wouldn't really expect from an indie folk, indie pop act. Their most recent single, The Wovles, showcases Sarah and Jake's talent as songwriters. I first heard the single at that show and I was really impressed by it. The Wovles has this triumphant nature to it that is solidified by the instrumentation, and it covers a lot of sonic territory in 4 minutes. Jake does this thing with a lot of processing and looping that makes two members sound like a full band or even larger. In the interview, I asked the Syvers about their musical influences, which is kind of a lame question to ask a band, but if you listen to their sound, it's very obvious they're influenced by more than just your contemporary indie pop acts or indie folk acts. They have much more. They have some elements of post-rock, and they have elements of electronic music. It's so broad, and if you look at the list they cite, it's things like This Will Destroy You and S. Carey and Sigaros. So it's something that's very interesting, and it was something that was really cool to dig into with the band, even though it was for just a few minutes. So that's enough from me. It's the Syvers on the Ear Coffee Podcast.
I am excited because I love their music and it's awesome and I want to know more, as I always am with music. So you've got a lot of technology here. How did you first get involved with this?
That is a great question. Well, it's a long story, but the short version is I just played in bands growing up, and I was never really satisfied with just an acoustic guitar because I don't think I'm that good of an acoustic guitar player or a vocalist, so I want to have the full band sound wherever I go, and so it's got to be independent, and also the music business now these days. You just can't afford to pay people to play with you, so
exactly.
trying to do it all myself.
So we are a two-man band with trying to sound like more.
Right.
Kind of.
That's the short version.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then what is the process to write together as a couple? Because that can be an interesting experience.
For us, it's been like a 4-year process to try and figure that out. It's a process that involves a lot of tears from Jake.
Oh.
Just kidding. They're from me. I'm the one that cries. No, we're I think kind of stereotypical artists, we can be kind of sensitive. So it's really hard to share. The way that we write songs is very processing our own emotions and our thoughts, and it's really vulnerable. So to share a song idea and for the person that you share with to be is kind of a rough thing. So it's taken a long time. We both write pretty differently, so
Which took a long time to figure out.
as in we figured out maybe 2 months ago. So we're still figuring things out. But one of the songs we just played, we call it Somehow I Know. I wrote that song kind of through a worship time, and so kind of what I do is I sit down at a piano, and if Jake's playing with me, he plays guitar, and we just play a worship song, and then we just continue to leave space, and then just kind of make up songs, and that's how I write best, which we've just kind of figured that out. For Jake, it's a lot of sitting down and just playing, and words come out in a different way, so we write differently.
It's a little more of a puzzle for me.
Yeah.
I think up a line or a lyric, I sit and feel the vibe of things, and then go in and change this word around, or I really like this syllable or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
you
way
start with
more
syllables a lot.
formulaic in the way that I do it.
So we have some voice memos or a hidden gem of musicians, because it's all Jake whisper singing as he's walking through public places they don't sound, they're great, sorry. But it is, so we have a couple of those where it's just syllables. You hear something but you don't have words yet, but you know what syllables sound right, and it's crazy how that turns into lyrics that actually mean something. So it's just a puzzle piece.
And you guys are in the process of making a whole album,
Yes.
right? How's that going?
It's good. It's another process and another journey. We've, at this point, maybe gone through 20 songs, I feel like.
Wow.
We'll have some...
I mean, at least.
At least,
probably,
yeah, maybe
probably
more. So
Is that just like trying to pick the right ones, the best ones that you think would be a good album?
Trying to figure out when it's like, oh man, we don't like this song anymore because it needs something, but this is still the right song, or like, oh man, we don't like this song anymore because we wrote new ones that are better. Jake is, in my opinion, a songwriting machine. I feel like you always are writing songs. Jake starts a lot of our song ideas. So there have been some interesting moments where I'm like, all right, this is our album and it's great. And Jake's like, I wrote a new song. Instead of being a good supportive wife, being like, awesome. I'm like, are you kidding me? We don't need more songs. But it's been great. And we've watched the album turn into something better than I think it would have been if we would have just stuck with the first ideas that we had. So,
Are you guys self-producing that then? Or are you working with some other people?
Yeah, we're working with a friend of ours. He went to Northwestern for a little while.
another alum.
Yeah.
Just keep it in the family.
He's helping
Yeah.
us. I'm learning a lot from him. So
Do you have a release date for that?
Not an official one.
Okay.
Early.
we hate deadlines.
Okay, cool.
Hence
Terrifying.
the changing the album.
Music
early,
people do,
Early
so.
spring is
Yeah.
what we're hoping for. So we're working to hopefully our end finish things up by the end of this year, and then kind of sit with it and play out a little bit before we release. So that's the loose goal.
Awesome. Sweet.
And then you guys cite a huge range of influences when I was creeping through your Facebook page, from like post-rock to indie acts. How do you blend that together into, like, I saw this, was it They Will Destroy You, This Will Destroy You on there. I was like,
Yes, dude.
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense with the sound I'm hearing, but how does that come together?
I was in a post-rock band in college when I was here.
Oh,
So,
The Fair Lead.
Fair Lead.
If anyone
Some
wants to
people-
check that out. Fair Lead.
anyways, so we did a lot of that stuff. That's kind of my background with guitar, making a bunch of like ethereal landscapes and stuff. But I feel like to
Yeah.
answer that question best is like, we are very different people. And so asking the question is, how do you bring that many styles or influences into your music? Is like, how did two people who are completely different work together and write songs?
Yeah.
Because we draw from completely different influences, like, that we love.
Yeah. And thankfully, I feel like we've kind of merged our styles and we've learned to appreciate each other's, the things that they bring to the table. So when we first started trying to do music, I didn't get post-rock music. So like, no one's singing. Like, why do we listen to this if no one's singing? I can't sing along with the song. Because I primarily as a vocalist, that's the stuff that I appreciate. But being able to understand more, maybe I shouldn't say understand, maybe being able to appreciate more of the musical side of things has really helped kind of, for us to encourage what the other person is bringing in, so it creates a rounder sound, and it's been cool. I feel like we feel like the stuff we're creating is more unique. It's not an exact copy of somebody because we'll balance each other out. So if Jake loves like This Will Destroy You, if he brought a song that maybe sounds a lot like them, if I'm going to add to it, by the end it won't sound like them, and then it just kind of sounds like us. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it opens it up and gives it a more of a dynamic then.
Yeah, takes more time. That's maybe where the tears can come in, but it's a good process.
Good thing there's no deadlines though, so it's fine.
Exactly.
So what is the favorite lyric you've ever written? That's a tough
Great
question.
I think my favorite song that we've ever written lyrically is definitely Forest Fire. I just feel like maybe it's a tie, but that one, for me specifically, I felt like I said everything exactly the way I wanted to. And that doesn't always happen in a song. And even some of those lyrics, when I read through them today, I still hit me with like, man, that's so true. Dang it.
Dang, I'm good. That's what you think.
Oh,
I think for me, it's in The One That Got Away. The way that we wrote that song was really cool. So it was, we went through, the song was about a miscarriage that we had. It kind of, there was a very tough time. And it was a couple months after that Jake showed me the first half of that song and some of the lyrics that he had written, and he was about to throw it away. Actually, was like, I don't know, it's kind of stupid, and I just cried because he said for me so many things that I was feeling, and then we were able to sit down together and finish the song out. And so the chorus specifically said, it was just crazy. I think the same thing you said, Jake, for the other song for you is like, it said everything that I was feeling, and just kind of fell out of our songwriting time.
yeah. You guys probably can't hear the lyrics very well because it's super verby in here, but maybe just share the chorus.
Yeah, the chorus of that song says, if I wanted anger, I would have found someone to blame. If I wanted answers, I would have never walked away. If I wanted pity, I'd make this hour look like a day. And if I wanted power, I would pretend I was okay. And it's still like, that was 3-4 years ago, and it still makes me emotional because it says in such a unique way everything that I was feeling, and it was just so cool the way that was probably one of our most like collaborative, the two of us bringing lyrics together songs. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
You got your last song tonight.
We have one more song.
And then do you want to let people know where they can find you online?
We were joking about that when you asked Landon.
We wanted him to say Christian Mingle. He's not even listening, so he can hear him joke. Probably because he's updating his Christian Mingle profile right now.
Oh, I sure hope so.
But we mostly promote through LinkedIn, so.
Oh, LinkedIn is you're very professional.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Oh,
Facebook's
throwback.
usually the easiest.
Okay,
But
Facebook.
in all actuality, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and we have a Bandcamp site as well.
Lovely, sweet. So they can get your music when it releases. I'm assuming
Yes,
it's going to be
and
on
we do
there.
have the one song that we have out. Our single is on Bandcamp.
For free.
Yep.
Since the recording of this interview, they've announced the title of their debut record, The Weight and the Sound. And you can listen to both The Wovles and the one that got away on Spotify, and you can buy them on Bandcamp. Support local music because it's the only reason why music exists, because every band is a local band at some point before they become a national band. And the Syvers are on tour right now. You can catch them on tour through the Midwest. You can find dates on their website or on their Facebook page. This also isn't probably going to be the last you're going to hear from Mr. David Kelso, as he and I did a handful of interviews towards the end of last year. At that show specifically, we interviewed Landon Paul and Steve Sales, both of which at some point are probably going to get uploaded on the podcast. I thank you for tuning in. My name's Joe Keyport, and I'll see you guys next week.